Hello, my name is Karla, and I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic, as the slide reads. And although I've lived there the vast majority of my life, I never knew that the trash I produced ended up in a landfill that provides the only economic income for a community living near it. The people in this community earn a living by diving into the landfill, sorting out recyclable materials to then sell. The relationship between this community and the landfill is so intrinsic that they share the same name, Duquesa. I had a very strong desire to understand this community, and I got to visit it. And while I was there, I met this very charismatic kid named Christopher. And this is what he shared with me. I like coming to school and seeing my friends, having all my assignments ready and not forgetting my pencil. Sometimes I forget it and I fall behind. I don't like when they bully me, though. They call me names. They call me dirty, even though I'm wearing the same clothes as them and I showered in the morning as them. They know I help my dad in the landfill sometimes. They call me dirty because I live in Duquesa. I learned through Christopher and his friends that parents' priority is in providing for their family's immediate needs, and this prevents them from being more involved in their education. So every day, going to school is a decision an 11-year-old has to make on his own. This was completely shocking for me at first, but then I understood what it really meant. It means these kids are opting every day for an education because they value it, and in spite of hard barriers at a very young age, they're resilient. The risk of not completing their education basically ensures them a life of poverty, scavenging through a landfill. This impacts not only their quality of life, but their health and their well-being. I have found that within their entire education, there's one moment where they're at most risk of dropping out. This moment is when kids in Duquesa need to change schools between 6th and 7th grade. I have learned in 7th grade, kids get demotivated to go to school and drop out. And as a result, 30% of the kids in Duquesa never make it to high school. So what would demotivate a very resilient kid like Christopher, right? So in my research, I've learned that kids go from a small community school to a bigger school that serves multiple communities. And that transitioning from the majority to the minority leaves them feeling as if they don't belong. When Christopher and his friends attended school in a classroom of 15 kids, now they're in a bigger classroom of 45, where they lack attention and recognition from their teachers. Kids from Duquesa are often discriminated against because of where they come from and what their parents do. This causes conflict with classmates that come from other villages, and this can quickly escalate to violence. I learned that it happens because kids haven't learned healthy conflict management skills. Every day, Christopher helps out Dad in the landfill after school, and he worries about helping his family financially. This is the same for many other kids in Duquesa. This worry often prevents them from focusing on school. So my hypothesis is that if these four needs are met, then kids from Duquesa would regain motivation to go to school, thus lessening dropouts. So for this, I created Trueque. Trueque is an intervention that lessens school's dropouts by keeping kids motivated to go to school. Trueque is a Spanish word, and it means value exchange, and that's what this program is all about. So it works in 3 stages that they cycle in the duration of a school semester. That's the agreement, playing it out, and redeeming rewards. So I got to pilot Trueque with 42 very eager 7th graders for 4 whole weeks, and here's how it worked. So Trueque empowered their kids through workshops, including teachers and school staff, to address what would make school a place that kids wanted to go to. In these workshops, kids were given space to reflect on past situations of conflict and imagine how they could be better addressed in the future. Together, the entire class created an agreement on how they decided they were going to treat each other. This gave kids autonomy on creating their own social norm, and it also provided a common understanding of how everybody is to behave no matter what community you come from. And like any other contract, they all got to sign it, of course, and this was the kids' favorite part. So Trueque then reinforced the agreement through a reward system. For every day that a kid honored the agreement, they had a chance to win tokens. Understanding that behavior change is incremental and a learning process, kids got a brand new opportunity each day to practice and to win. The tokens they accumulated could be redeemed in their local bodega, where Maritza, the owner, eagerly awaited them. So they could exchange their earnings for various items, ranging from ice creams, shoes, even rice for mom. Rewards aren't only used as to incentivize behavior, they're also aimed to lessen the financial burden that many times is a deciding factor for kids dropping out. So what happened in these 4 weeks? And did it make school a place kids wanted to go to? It did. 100% of the kids reported that they noticed positive change in behavior in themselves and or in their classmates. They all reported they enjoyed participating and would recommend it to a friend. There were also some surprises. Teachers reported less absences within the second week of the program. Unintentionally, Trueque became a tool for teachers in classroom management. It changed peer interaction between teachers, and when it came to address the concerns of their students. As Francisca said, their math teacher, with Trueque, kids were more aware of their behavior. I could teach 2 of my classes in 1. They were so attentive. Trueque also opened a bigger conversation in the community about the value of keeping kids in school, and the bodega was the hub for these interactions. And within the 3rd week, kids started redeeming school materials, like pencils, from the bodega, in its effect reinvesting their earnings back into their education. So dropout rates due to student demotivation isn't limited to Duquesa, it's a national problem. Duquesa is just one example of where a program like Trueque can intervene. For me, what's exciting of this intervention is that it has the ability to adapt to other places, to other kids in similar situations. So when can Trueque be put most at use? Whenever kids are forced to transition to communities with different social norms and values, finding it hard to adapt. Whenever kids are forced to negotiate between helping their family out financially and attending school. This can be seen all over the country, from kids helping their families farm in the countryside, fishing in the coast, or polishing shoes in big cities. This is the right time for this program as well. Due to growing public demand, the government increased the national budget of education by 70%. And although that's a great investment, primarily focused on infrastructure, not enough is being done to understand the emotional needs of the kids that they serve. Trueque can help fill that gap. By partnering with Dominican companies interested in social good, we will ensure financial sustainability of the program. Trueque is about promoting social equality, keeping kids motivated to go to school by reducing everyday worry, giving them agency and social skills that will benefit them long term. Duquesa is one example of this, of how mustering kids' motivation for their own education has the potential to positively impact an entire community, making kids like Christopher agents of that change. Thank you.